Here we are. Here we are. We're literally just podcast hosts. Literally just podcast hosts.
We're back with a brand new episode of Undisputed Anime. I am Vacation Zane. That's right, I'm back from my vacation, baby. AKA Zane Taichou, captain of anime recommendations. I'm here with my besto friend, Susu Day.
Good day. Good day.
Good
Gotta
day.
stop doing that. Every time I move my hand too close to the camera, my screen darkens. Stop it. That's as good as it's gonna get, I think.
It'll sort it out.
Hey, nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Is it nice to be back on old UK soil where the land is humid and overcast most of the time?
Yeah, it's good to be home. Like the price of things in the US is just something else.
It probably doesn't help that the places you went to are notoriously expensive, like tourist spots.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. It probably didn't help.
You went to the places which are known for taking your money.
Yeah. But had fun and it was really cool. Went to, by the way, for those who reached out with the recommendation of going to Little Tokyo in LA was fantastic. I had a whirlwind of a time. And there was a great manga store called, I'm going to butcher the name. It's going to be Kino Uniya, which for those that are watching on YouTube, it looks, I'm going to try and put it in focus. He says,
no, that's not happening.
No, it's not happening.
Anyways,
happen. But yeah, I had a great time. I picked up some manga whilst I was there. That's why I've got this in my hand. I also found a copy of Kaguri Abachi.
That looks nice.
I am over the moon that they had this here. They had loads of just Japanese manga there. They had Jojo Land there. But I was like, I gotta keep to a budget.
Yeah, I mean that's the difficulty when you go anywhere with nice stuff. Is it's kind of it's like when we went to MCM last year.
Yeah.
It's kind of I went there and I had some disposable income, but I was every single day I was buying things. I was like, this is quickly becoming a problem because I'm gonna keep buying things and I'm gonna run out of money before the second day.
Yeah. That happens, and it's almost like a pep talk to yourself. Let's calm it down, buddy. Yeah. We still got a week left of this.
Yeah.
Let's.
I often find myself going into my brain. It's okay, right. I understand you are an adult and you have adult money. You don't have any parents or anyone telling you what you can and cannot spend your money on. But you need to dial it back, mate. You gotta put your foot on the brake a little bit because you're gonna ruin your whole weekends.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that was cool. I tell you, the worst thing I felt though is we went to Disney and we went to Galaxy's Edge, which was really cool, and again, pricey drinks. But it was also the same weekend as Star Wars because it was over May the 4th.
So you were there with us Star Wars, those sorts of celebration days.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, but then so I don't know if you know this already, but Disney aren't a fan of people cosplaying or cosplaying characters. So I
had heard a few things.
So
because they don't want people being mistaken for the parks actors, do they?
Exactly.
Because obviously that can bring up all sorts of issues, legally for them if someone in cosplay were to do something inappropriate.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can get away with low key outfits. You know what I mean? Kind of something slightly adjacent from it.
Yeah.
But anyways, the park towards the end of the evening, because they had the Star Wars Celebration, or I think it was called Star Wars Unite or something, they allowed people to cosplay as, you know, Jedi or Sith or bounty hunters and stuff, which is really cool. So as the day went on, you start to see more and more people starting to
Filtering
cosplay.
in. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
And then what I noticed is there's a lot more lightsabers are about. And I'm not just talking like, you know, the plastic ones that you flick and they expand. I'm talking like high-end, nice ones. And then you've got people just carrying these amazing like suitcases over their shoulders, which is where they've kept their lightsabers in. And I was like,
yeah, we're talking the ones where, like, for my own imagery in my head, we're talking the ones where you get them out, they don't retract or anything, but they've got a clear blade, and then you press the button
LED.
and it like lights up like a saber would.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like, I need this. So it's just kind of like, oh my god, this looks amazing. And yeah, everyone has like these chrome looking lightsabers, and I was like, why don't I have one?
Yeah, to be fair, when we were at MCM, there was a store that I was avoiding for fear that I might spend money at, and it was like they were doing custom laser swords. It's like they were basically lightsabers that did fit that bill, and I was like, oh. I don't need it.
Exactly. And then my whole thing was like, I don't think they actually did them in the Disney park, besides like replicas of certain handles. So you like, there was a box and you could get Ahsoka's set for like hundreds. But yeah, I started having a look online, and they can be really pricey. I was quite surprised. I was like, wow.
My colleague, massive Star Wars fan, like big, like he collects the Lego helmets. He's all about it, like absolutely. And when he went to Disneyland Paris last year with his wife, and he came home with 2 lightsabers from the park, from the build your own experience. So he went through it twice. Instead of that, he came back with these 2 lightsabers, and they're like prized possessions for him. He loves them. But he said the first time he went, it was great because he said it was busier, and there wasn't anyone to tell him because when you go in, it's like, you know, when you go to like some like fast food places, and they're like, kind of build your own thing.
Yeah.
But you get like, you can have 2 of this, or you can have 1 of these and none of these. So there was no one there to stop him the first time. So he was able to kind of make an unrestricted one, where like he basically was able to choose whatever he wanted. But the second time he went, there was someone supervising him, and they were like, no, you can only have 1 of those, and you can stuff like that.
That's wild. I did walk into there, but again, it was pricey to do it. They also have like build your own droids as well, which sounds kind of fun.
What?
Yeah.
If I can get a BD1, I will be all about that.
I'll show you the packs, because you can buy like add-ons and things separately. Like if you've already done the droid and you just want to change up maybe the accent colors and stuff. But yeah,
love that.
Looks pretty cool. Pretty cool.
But we're not a Star Wars podcast. If you're tuning in just now, we're not a Star Wars podcast.
No, we are not. This is the Anime Recommendation Podcast. I suppose a little housekeeping for those that are off to MCM. I completely forgot there's an MCM in May in London. Sadly, we are not going.
Yeah, it's a busy time. Even if I had remembered, I don't know that I would have been able to make it over to MCM London. Like, obviously, I would obviously love to go back. It was such a good experience back at the tail end of last year. So I would have loved to have gone back. XL London, great space for it. Yeah. But no, apparently this year decided to throw everything at me during the periods of May, June, and July and August. So I'm very busy for all of that.
Everyone just wants your time, bud.
Yeah. You know, I've got responsibilities as a father, as a friend, as a husband. Got a lot
as
going
a podcaster,
on. As a podcast host. So yeah, but that said,
Mm,
obviously we've got AnimeCon Birmingham
we do.
coming up shortly. So
I'm so excited for it.
yeah, me too. It's kind of nice because it's a bit of a work versus pleasure kind of thing. Because
Mm,
like obviously we're going there because we want to get some good content. We want to see what's going on,
yeah,
see what
yeah.
they've added on since the one you went to earlier in the year.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
But also our friend Ray Ray, he's been on the podcast before,
Hmm.
long ago, the times before. He's getting married, and we're like, let's take him to a con,
Yeah,
not for like a stag thing, but like let's take him to a con. It's the weekend before, I
yeah.
think, more or less. Let's
Hmm.
take him to a con and have a fun time.
Yeah. Have a fun time.
We
Boys
also
tour.
got we got another friend coming over from who lives over in Denmark. He's coming over.
He is, yeah. A friend of the Manga Attack podcast will be accompanying us. So, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So see you there.
Mm. So, yeah, make sure you are following all the channels because, yeah, we'll be covering all sorts of bits and pieces from AnimeCon Birmingham this upcoming June. I guess that's all of housekeeping.
Yeah.
Anything else, or should we jump into some recommendations?
Let's jump into some recommendations because we thought today, what would we do? We thought we would just ease back into it after a little break and just talk about what we've been watching lately
Yeah, yeah. Um,
and reading, I guess.
yeah, why not? We're going to add a little bit of reading this week
Yeah,
because
there's a lot of
both of
interesting
us
stuff going on.
have done some reading recently, so we thought it'd be good to maybe talk about it. Where do you want to start?
I mean, should I just tear the plaster off? Hey guys, all of that, that massive long list of animes that I'm always saying, hey, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna try this. I didn't do that. I started rewatching Naruto. Now, if you've not heard about Naruto, it's a story about ninjas, specifically a ninja called Naruto.
Really?
Yes, and he wants to be the Hokage. Who
What's a
is?
Hokage?
Oh, he's the strongest and most respected ninja in the whole village of ninjas. See those faces carved into that cliffside?
Oh yeah,
All Hokage. This
all
guy,
Hokage.
this blonde boy,
Yeah,
he wants to be one of them.
one of them. Got
One
it.
of them, yeah. And we've obviously got, as you see, it's got everything. We've got an edgy emo character. We've got an obsessed pink-haired girl character. We've got old guys. We've got young father figures. We've got people with one eye and magic powers.
Mm. I like the sound of
Absolute,
this.
absolute top tier. Honestly, I'd been wanting to rewatch and reread Naruto for such a long time because I've given it a few years now.
Hmm.
It's kind of like I want to go back to some of the things that I used to read a lot and watch a lot and see how well it kind of aged.
Sure.
Um, and there's something to be said about like any of the big three, like the original big three. It's just kind of like,
Hmm.
you know what, was it really as good as we thought it was, or was it because that's what it was at the time? Because
Sure.
we had a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of good stuff come out since then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm rewatching Naruto from the beginning. I'm gonna go into Shippuden, and then I'm probably gonna continue because I don't dislike Boruto. I don't
Hmm.
dislike the Boruto anime. I actually think it's very well animated. It's just that they started it while Boruto was really early on in being written, so it's all fillers as a result.
Plus, it's like monthly as well, isn't it? It's not weekly. The manga series that is of
Yeah,
Boruto.
yeah.
So
We get
it
these slightly
really,
longer chapters, but it's like kind of if you're only getting it once a month, it's kind of hard to keep up this sort of cadence because they were doing weekly episodes.
yeah,
Where I think that that's what they're doing now because I can't remember the studio that does Boruto, but I know that they've moved on to a different production schedule for it, haven't they?
they have. Yeah, they have now. They basically Studio Period, I think they're called.
Yes.
But yeah, they've now decided to move to a season formula very similar to like Demon Slayer and
Yeah,
the
and
popular.
I
And
think that'll work much better for
oh
Boruto
yeah, yeah,
because if you just tell me, oh, we're gonna give you a new season of Boruto. Here you go. Here are 12 to 15 episodes that
mm,
cover this point of the story to this point of the story. I'd be like, that's great because that's all it needs. Just do the episodes well.
exactly. And especially like if it is monthly, that means what? There's only 12 chapters
12
a
chapters
year.
a year, yeah.
That's a
So
lot of filler. Yeah.
yeah, so don't filler us anymore. Just give us what we want, which is high quality content. Because, like I said, I think Boruto gets a really bad rep, but I think it gets a bad rep one because it's like kind of the inheritor of the mantle of
Yes.
Naruto, and the second is that a lot of people don't read the manga; they only watch the anime. And if
Hmm.
you only watch the anime and you see this like kind of sequel
Mm.
that goes on to be nothing but filler, it doesn't really give you a good taste in your mouth, does it?
No, not at all. Um, yeah, no, it's a shame, but it's good that it's moving to a different one. I am interested to see how Naruto ages with you. Like, if
Yeah.
there will be certain arcs that will be better the second time round.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see because I can remember like key moments like the tuning exams, the chase after Sasuke at the end
Mm.
of that arc, Naruto versus Gaara, like all sorts of stuff like that. It's great stuff from like Shippuden, like
Hmm.
some of the main fights against Akatsuki, you
Yeah.
know, learning Rasengan, enhancing Rasengan, like all this stuff. I'm also got to try and find a place to watch all the movies as well because the movies I used to really enjoy all the movies
I
like
really
so
like the
much.
movies. Yeah.
So I'd like to see how good those hold up because anime movies for the big three are pretty well produced. They're pretty well made. So
They are very well produced. It's just that they've always been like a flash in the pan, really, haven't they? In terms of like
yes, never been like what they've done with like My
canon.
Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Whereas with My Hero Academia, it's like even though the story is never mentioned really inside of the canon,
Hmm.
like at the point in the manga we're at, we're obviously seeing the main players from those movies showing up in
Yeah.
chapters and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's like great because you're like, oh well, they're real. They're not like just like
Exactly. And it's kind of like my time wasn't wasted investing in the movies, sort of thing. So those are,
yeah.
yeah, that's really cool that it's paid off in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, Naruto guys. What you been up to?
What have I been up to? I have right. I have continuously carry on watching Delicious in the Dungeon. In the Dungeon? I don't know why I put the in there. Delicious in Dungeon. Fantastic. I don't know why no one is really talking about this. It is just possibly my favorite thing to watch at the moment. It's just so good. I'm up to date. I think it's like 20 episodes at this point. Um, and it's still funny. It's still injecting new characters even this late into the season and stuff. And they're still charming characters as well. So yeah, I even though the main goal of what they set out to do has somewhat concluded, and I don't want to give too many spoilers away, the aftermath is where we're in. And again, I'm still intrigued. I love these characters so much as well. And the voice, and I'm watching it dub. The dub is just so good as well.
Oh, that's something good to know for me because like I've been looking for something new to watch with Kira, and I was thinking this might be it because it's very accessible.
Hmm.
And who doesn't love like a just like a light-hearted? I say light-hearted. I don't know where it goes, but who doesn't love a light-hearted dungeon crawl about food?
This is it. Like the fantasy setting is so great, and I often forget. You know, we see familiar monsters over different genres and different video games and stuff. And some of those fantasy monsters I do forget. So when I watch this show, and it reminds me of things like there was an episode I watched recently where they fell asleep and there's a dream eater. It turns into one of those episodes where you kind of get more information about that character and their motivations and their biggest fears and stuff. But a dream eater monster, and I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me of like Gengar used to be like, or Haunter from Pokemon was originally supposed to be this like dream eating Pokemon and stuff. And I was like, man, that's such a cool concept of like, a bit like Inception, like they have to go into the dream to try and save them.
Oh no.
But
First dream is collapsing. We got to get out.
But yeah, it's such a again funny series, and of course it's a food anime as well, so all the food looks amazing, even though
So don't go into it with an empty stomach.
A little bit of that. So yeah, really fun. I can't talk highly enough of this show.
No, I definitely need to give it a go because it was you and another friend who were constantly like someone like talking up like Free Ren and stuff, and then I watched Free Ren and I loved Free Ren.
Yeah,
like I couldn't. I'm so sad that it's over for now. Like it's one of those titles where I enjoyed the anime so much that I'm kind of stopping myself from reading the manga.
I'm with you.
Because I don't want to spoil the anime for me.
That experience you want it to happen.
I had
again.
It's so unusual that I go into an anime having never read the source material.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quite enjoying doing it this way this time around. Good. Maybe I'll read it once, like the anime is like concluded entirely.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. See how it differs if it does.
Absolutely.
Anything else you've watched recently?
Oh, well, I've been keeping up with Kaiju number 8. Obviously, couldn't speak highly enough of Kaiju number 8. One of my like favorite reads at the moment. Still one of my favorite like watches at the moment. They're just doing such a great job with it. And I think we spoke about on the show before, I did worry that like they wouldn't be able to get the balance between like seriousness and comedy quite right.
Yeah.
But they're doing it absolutely great. The voice acting is great. The animation so far has been exceptional. Really enjoying it. There's not really much for me to say on it. Like it's progressing exactly as the manga did. And that's great.
Yeah, it's I'm a little bit behind because I haven't watched it since before I went away. But I am looking forward to catching up on it. And I'm hopefully I'm right in thinking it's probably one of the few series where they're releasing the dub like, I don't know, what feels like 24 hours after the Japanese airing. So
it's getting released pretty swiftly. So I think it comes out on a Friday or a Saturday.
Right.
Can't remember which one it is because I've been watching it like subbed. But I know that there was even a whole big thing about it on Crunchyroll where it like had like a countdown timer, with like saying how long it is until it's available and stuff. So it's kind of like it's great when you see how quickly the industry is working now to get these great animes more accessible to more viewers.
Yeah, and again, I want to just say for those the dub version as well. If I'm right in thinking this is one of those series, because I think there's a handful of them. Even Delicious and Dungeon, again, like I said, it's been dubbed on Netflix, and those have been weekly releases as well. Phenomenal how quickly they can get these things dubbed now. And Eminence and Shadow early in the year, that was dubbed week to week as well, really quickly. So I think they're doing a phenomenal job at the moment with some of these studios.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just as a side tangent, this is just a side tangent, just because it seems appropriate. We all know that you love Eminence and Shadow.
Yeah.
Did I see correctly that they are getting a movie?
Yeah, boy. There's a movie. Can you believe it? Well, an OVA.
It,
I don't know
it
if it's an
feels like
OVA or
you are.
movie.
It feels like you're manifesting this into the world.
Yes.
Look at
Join
that! Like
me.
if you're watching this now, the smile on Zane's face when I mentioned this movie should show you how excited he is about it.
We're changing the world with eminence and shadow. Our agenda.
Great agenda.
We're pushing it. We're pushing it to the moon.
But that was a small tangent. But I do recall seeing that they were getting a movie, and I thought I'd mention it. Like
Just
clearly
mention
you
it.
already knew. So
Don't want to watch it, huh? You can watch it. It's okay. I won't judge
it's
you.
fine. I read the manga. It's
You
fine.
read the manga, did you?
Yes, I did read the manga.
Yeah?
I didn't finish the manga, but I've read it.
You could watch it now. You know what happens.
I do. I guess I could.
Get
I could.
refreshed.
But like, if thing is, if I start a new anime, how am I going to start an anime that I've watched before again?
What, like Naruto?
Yeah, like Naruto. Like I'm, how am I supposed to procrastinate by picking up something that I don't need to watch?
Watch it dubbed. It's all right. You can just listen out for the words.
Okay, so I can watch Eminence in Shadow. In Shadow, I'll watch Eminence in Shadow dubbed, but I'll also be streaming Naruto subbed at the same time. It's big brain time, guys. It's big brain time.
Train that brain.
So,
yeah,
this is how bilinguals are born.
I mean, we've both got two sides of the brains, right? It's just just maximizing both sides.
Exactly.
So
what else have you been watching?
I'll tell you what, as we've talked about Eminence and Shadow, why not talk about this? I watched
Chilling in Another World with level 2 super cheap powers. It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, and it's one hell of a show. Not really.
How so? Tell me. I'm not reading the description. You just give me a summary, like synopsisize me.
This confused me a little bit to begin with because it's an isekai, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the season of isekais. But he's isekai'd from another fantasy world.
Oh.
Okay.
That's interesting.
He gets isekai'd. They're like, we need heroes. You've been chosen. Blah blah blah. Follows a similar trope now of, oh, your powers aren't so great, and he's like, okay. And then there's another summon that happens to the left of him, and they're like, oh, your powers are incredible. Like, you're the guy. So everyone forgets about our main dude. And he's like, so am I going to get to go back home? And they were like, oh, no. The magic window's closed now. You're stuck here. So they basically were like, look, we did you wrong. We're going to give you a little house out next to this forest. And you just retire there for the rest of your life. He's like, fair enough. So he gets retired, and he fights some slime. And then everything's just max level. He defends himself.
He levels up.
He levels up.
Straight to max level.
Just straight to, like, everything says infinity. And he's like, I don't know what that means. So, yeah, all of his base stats are like infinity. And he's like, I've leveled up. But I guess this is me now. So
I just live here in my house.
Yeah. He slowly figures out that the people that summoned him and then made him to retire, like the king and stuff, they were trying to do him a disservice by putting him next to like a forest full of monsters, hoping the monsters would just like get rid of him.
Finish the job. Hide their mistake.
Exactly. But his like system figured out that there was loads of monsters, and it just purifies the forest. So word gets back to the king, hey, this forest has been purified of like all monsters, and he was like, "Oh, it must have been that hero that we got. Oh, it's paying off. Like this is amazing." And everyone's like, "But he went south, not north. Maybe it's that dude that we retired." And they were like, "No, there's no way. There's no chance. He had no good stats." So yeah, it's kind of funny, but it's slowly turning into a,
A
a,
harem.
a harem of like girls that are just randomly showing up. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see there's a disproportionate amount of girls to guys in that artwork.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I like it. It's funny.
You know what? I as many times as it happens in manga, in manhwa, in anime, in anything, I can never get tired of the attitude of we summon heroes to another world to save ours, but we made a mistake. But we can't do anything about it. Sorry.
It's a one-way spell.
You now. This is you now. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it makes me laugh because all those times like growing up listening to like The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe, and it's like you are the
they could always get
one.
back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they could always go back. It's just funny when it turns out then maybe not the chosen one.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we did it by mistake. Yeah, I really there's a couple just tangentially that I can't remember what the title is, but I was reading a manhwa a little while ago which had a similar sort of concept, except it was basically a situation of this guy had been summoned to another world to save it, but he had been taken advantage of by everyone the whole journey. And at the end of a journey, they killed him because they're like, he's too powerful now. We got to get rid of him because he could become like the next thing that the kingdom has to like fight against. And so he dies, and then he gets reincarnated, but into his own body. He has to start the journey again.
Oh, really?
Like, and basically, so he's going through this journey again, but this time he's been an absolute asshole about it because he already knows all the people, all the main players and stuff, and he's like, okay, I'm going to be this way, and he starts being like a proper asshole for it, and he basically, because he goes back with like all his stats, so he's like,
wow.
or at least he knows how to get strong as quick as possible, so he basically goes back and he basically goes straight to the Demon King. And he fights the Demon King right away because the way that the system works is that he's not meant to encounter the Demon King until he's a much higher level.
Right.
But because he encountered him so early on, the Demon King gets a massive handicap because of the system. So he kills the Demon King like right away, and then he's supposed to get like sent back to his original world. But then the entities that control that system are basically like, here's your ranking. This is like basically your report card. You got like an A star for like swiftness, but all of your other things are F because you didn't do anything to help anyone. You weren't nice to anyone, so he gets reincarnated.
No social links.
Yeah, so he basically gets put back to the beginning again, and basically the whole story is him having to keeps repeating it, and he's trying to find a way to beat the main quest. With a high enough score so that they'll reincarnate him back into his real world. But every time they're like, I think there's one time he did it, he got like A star and everything except like being a nice person. And because he was doing loads of evil stuff to get strong really quick, and they're like, no, sorry, we're gonna put you back. But they start giving him they start changing the rules. They make it so that like one time he gets reincarnated, he's reincarnated with a second person with him who's got a completely different personality to try and like balance him out and set him on the right path. And he basically ends up taking advantage of this nice personality guy to like use him as like a decoy, and like he's like, oh, you need to go do this, this, and this. And in the meanwhile, he goes and like starts like an evil cult to get stronger.
No way.
Yeah. I'll find the title for you so you can read it. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's very
I like the sound of it. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's really interesting to see like what happens on the next cycle, because he starts getting reincarnated with like things that he shouldn't be. Like he gains a skill where he's like, because all his skills get reset, and he gains a skill that he gets to keep his skills. So he starts the next time he reincarnates, he starts with the ability to wield the holy swords right away. And then on the next one around, he finds a holy sword that was like kind of a glitched out one that wasn't meant to be in the setting, and he starts using that one as well. And then he comes back with that one, and that one can eat other holy swords. It's like it's mental. He like goes like he got taken advantage of by like the princess of the merfolk. So he basically takes the kingdom's army and he like dams up the lake that's feeding their like community and goes to war with them. It's like so good.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna find it afterwards. I'll send you the link. So
I like that. That sounds really cool. That sounds really cool. Yeah. Where were we?
Sorry, guys.
Big tangent. It's all right. Yeah, chilling in another world with level 2 super cheap powers. Let me know if you're watching it, because it's funny. It is funny. But
I would like to meet the person who says that this is their best of all time. their GOAT choice.
Peak fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been watching?
TikToks.
Nice.
No, I've been mainly reading lately. I've done like my average amount of watching, but I've not been doing a lot of watching of anime lately. Probably because I've been busy. It's much easier for me to just kind of read like between doing things. So
I tell you what, I'll wrap up the last 2 things that I've watched. The other thing I watched was Demon Slayer. And when I say I watched it, I kind of skipped through. It's the first episode of the training arc, the Hashira training arc, I should say. It's a 48-minute long episode. And the reason I kind of skipped through it was because it was the one that I saw in cinemas.
Yeah, of course.
It was the world tour, you know, the road to Hashira training. Nothing different. It's
the same episode, just on the smaller screen.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you've seen some of the discourse on TikTok, but for a lot of people, they felt this opening episode was a little mid because besides the opening, there wasn't much that happened. But we've talked about it. That it's mainly world building and kind of setting a path for.
You're saying that, and that's what Demon Slayer has consistently done. The first episode is never of their series is never like super exciting. It's like just like these are the main players. This is the goal.
Here's the setting. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I think and I think that for Demon Slayer particularly, it was written in such a concise way that they've just got to kind of like set it out like right away, because it's going to tidy up so tidily. There's no like questions left unanswered at the end of it all.
Yeah,
it's like there's nothing left open for what happens next. Like so, it's kind of, you know, I think that Demon Slayer continues to be good. I get that it can be disappointing when you watch a 40+ minute episode and it's not quite as action packed as you'd like it to be. But this is how Demon Slayer's always been.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the series has never really let me down. I know there's like this huge argument, like without the animation, it probably wouldn't be as good as it is. But that's neither here or there, because it does have this high quality animation. And I've really enjoyed the story for what it is. As simple as playing, it's not like super in depth. I think it still does a great job. So yeah, I agree. I'm still on board with this one. So, I think it's worth giving a chance. The other in this conversation is My Hero. Season 7 has started. At the time of recording, we're like 3 episodes in. I've only seen the first episode with Stars and Stripes. So, again, cool. This is the 7th series of My Hero. Again, nothing too nothing out of the norm.
Yeah.
But
it's what you'd expect. It's just a continuation of what was already happening. Fun fact about this is that My Hero Academia is the series that I should have restarted watching, but then I started rewatching Naruto. So this is what I had planned to start rewatching, because I was like, you know, I've not watched the last few seasons. I really just want to experience it all in one go. Let's do it. oh, Naruto. But this is what I should have been rewatching, especially because the manga's been so good lately.
Yeah. I what's the word I'm looking for? I binged through the end of season 6 because I realized I hadn't finished it. So I kind of binged through that and binged through the sort of emo Deku arc, as some people like to call it, or his vigilante arc.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really pulled it off in the anime. From what I saw manga wise, like, or from what I remember, or the impression it gave me, I thought it'd be a lot more in the anime, but
Yeah.
that
I
might
think
be
the manga very, very suddenly took a very hard tonal shift.
yeah.
And for a studio who's been working on it for as long as they have, that might come off as a bit, whoa, we're not prepared to go as hard as this is going in terms, because it got very dark. Like the whole palette changed.
It very much zigged instead of zag.
Yeah, exactly. So not to say that I'm gonna have it. Again, it's one of those series. Like I get a lot of people say that like a lot of people find My Hero Academia overhyped, and I can see why they say that. But it's like kind of like it's just one of those things. Like when something gets too popular, a lot of people come out the woodwork and are like, no, this isn't actually good. You know what I mean?
I guess people will criticize it over the years and stuff as a body of work, and like you said, as it goes on further and further, it's hard not to kind of start criticizing bits and pieces and such. But I just had a quick look. The manga started July 7th, 2014. This has nearly been going for 10 years.
And do you know what? With where the story is at right now, I could see it ending exactly 10 years.
Me too.
I could see us getting, because there's a break coming up this week, and I think we're going to get a couple of chapters between then and now. I think they could be on track to end on the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, I think so too. Just having a quick look here. July 7th, 2014 is when it first started. Sorry, I got a burp. Excuse me.
Oh my goodness.
I might keep that in.
Live and unedited.
Yep. Anyways, it's been fun catching up.
Yeah,
Thanks
absolutely.
for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure to drop a subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, or give us a star rating on your favorite podcast platform. I want to kind of bring back question time. I know we've probably got a few questions since we last did question time. So let us know your questions in the comment sections. You can email us. The email address is in the description. I want to say it's undisputedanime@gmail.com, but I could be wrong. But anyways, question time is coming back. Let us know your thoughts, any questions you may have. Through today, any imparting wisdom you want to give?
The year's getting on, guys. It's getting hot. Really hot in some places. Make sure you're hydrating. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water or fluids that do hydrate. Don't go for hours and hours without drinking. That's bad. That's bad for your bodies. If you die, you can't watch more anime. You can't read more manga.
You're going to miss out.
Going to miss out in crazy big ways. So, hydrate. Look after yourselves. Wear suntan lotion. Moisturize your skin, lads. Seems like it wouldn't be a big deal now, but when you get older, you're going to wish you had started early.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great pearls there. Great pearls.
I'm a man of my later years now.
Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will be back in a fortnight or 2 weeks' time for those who don't know what a fortnight is. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Catch you later.
Thanks for this. Peace.
Peace.